Hello folks, I am here standing outside Frasers Motorcycles of Gloucester, and we're just about to take out one of those Suzuki GSX 8S. I've been looking forward to taking this out for a spin, see what all the fuss is about. Nice looking dash. I won't pretend I know how to navigate it yet. Oh, that's traction control. Ride mode. Let's go up and down. 2, 3, 2, 1, A, B, C. I think 1A, I suspect, is the most sporty, responsive of the modes. I was told that it was nearly out of fuel, but it's got a range of 80 miles, so we're okay for a little while. Nice. Just wondering how to navigate the settings. Ah, there you go. Just pressed up on the rocker there. Ride. RPM set. Oh, good. That's a nice high level. How do I get out of here? Exit. Quick shifter set. On. Great. Exit. Info. Don't need that really. Exit. Setting. Brightness day night. La, 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 la. Okay, nothing fancy there. Let's ride. I'm going to stop. I just got to say it's very approachable. I've got my feet flat on the ground and my knees are bent. I'll bang the seat height up on the screen, but it's low, or at least it feels damn low. I can't believe how low that feels. Now, I haven't ridden this bike's competition, apart from its own competition from the same manufacturer, being the SV650. Where are we on this engine capacity? I think it was 774cc. I can't quite recall. It feels almost like what a big bore SV650 would feel like. I could see Chains having a hard time on this bike because you can't help but give that throttle a twist and feel the torque, feel the acceleration. It's great fun. Shall we accelerate? This thing does not hang about. Not to be sniffed at, the performance of this bike. What's it like in first gear? Coming on and off the throttle. Decent as well. Yeah, that's very pleasant on and off the throttle. Even halfway round a roundabout in first gear. Yeah, that quick shifter, that's pretty good. The ignition cut's not too long. Round the bend. Fire it out the bend. Slow down. Another bend. Fire it out the bend. All very good so far. Let's push my luck. Fifth gear, 2,500 RPM. Bit grumbly. Fifth gear, 2.5. Unsurprisingly. Fourth gear, 3,000 RPM. Where were we? About 35 miles an hour. That pulls well there. That's a lusty response. Now, when I was firing it through the lanes at some higher revs, I was getting some vibration through the foot pegs, left one particularly. Shall we have another little look? Yeah, about 6,000 RPM or so, there's a bit of a tingle through the pegs. Not too bad though. So we're about to go slow now. Let's see how the bike behaves in the urban jungle. Look at the state of this bit of tarmac in this road here. Well, I can tell you the bike is not being deviated by it. It's not kind of tramlining at all. Which is quite a feat really, because that is a rather horrible kind of edge there. Right, let's try third gear down to some lower speeds. Yeah, third gear's managing things from about 20 miles an hour. Oh right, yeah. Going back to the fuel range. James at Frasers said it was low on fuel. I think he just saw like the red indicator and assumed that meant there was not much fuel in there. Now I do believe the fly in the ointment there when I talk about a full tank is, I believe it only holds 14 litres. Yeah, the range is stating 70 miles, just 70 miles, but only one bar has got off the fuel range. You won't be doing super big distances on this bike between Phillips. You better have both hands on the handlebars if you want to give it a big twist of throttle, because that torque could catch you out. You know, it's nearly an 800cc twin. It's not a small engine, although it does feel like a small bike. I've just stepped off the BMW S1000RR, and from 3000 RPM this bike accelerates harder. You may say that's stating the obvious, and I may agree, but yeah, the inline 4 of the BM, that is amazing at 6000 RPM. But a little flat at 3. But you can't be surprised. It just depends on what you want from a motorbike and where you want your power. So in terms of equipment, I think this bike is pretty well equipped. We've got riding modes for the throttle. We have traction control in 3 stages. Shall we actually have a look at the... oh, maybe not, slow down. Yeah, just playing with the throttle map there, which I'm about to show you. Just put the SDMS into C. Yeah, much smoother. I imagine it even cuts power. I'll confirm that on the screen. The switches are looking, you know, decent, utilitarian, maybe I'll say, but tactile. Yeah, I can feel what's going on, especially the indicator switch. I'm happy with. It's not mushy. Anybody home? So I found a new spot to have a little walk around in. Oh, steering lock. Oh, impressed with the steering lock. There's lots of it. I'm liking the mostly blacked out engine and dark cycle parts, and the rear end here with the striking blue subframe and rear plastics and wheels. I think it's looking really, really nice. I like the plastics. The shape of it is good. Not too insectoid at the front, but pretty insectoid. They do look a little bit pincery, don't they? I think if it were mine, I'd do something to mix up the colour here on the tank. Really nice tank pad there. 776cc. Got that a little bit wrong earlier on. So what was that? 84mm by 70mm bore and stroke. Nowhere near a peaky engine design here. 4 valves per cylinder, 270-degree crank, so we give it that V-twin vibe. We have 81.8 horsepower, 8,500 RPM, so not too high revving either. The peak torque at 6,800, which surprises me a little bit. I thought it might be a little bit lower considering how it feels. Dunlop Sport Max Road Sport, maybe Road Sport's the name of it. 120/70 ZR17, good size at the front. And a 180 55 ZR17 at the back. Nice looking alley swing arm there. Let's not look too closely at the exhaust. They've done their best to tuck it up and keep it out of sight. Not too many exposed cables and wires. Doesn't look too ugly at all, really. But it does strike me as a bit odd that they've put some sheathing there for the pipe, but it stops there. Why not just go all the way to the end? That's something to do with coolant, because it's really hot, so I won't do that again. Oh, I got the calipers wrong earlier on. If I leave that bit in, which I might not now. They're Nissan radial calipers. I said Takiko, I think, earlier on. Biting down on what size discs, we are saying 310mm discs. Not a bad size, that. There's your clutch actuation there. Wow, those foot pegs mean business, don't they? No wonder I felt a bit of vibration perhaps then at about 6,000 RPM or so. So if you buy one of these bikes and aren't really into, you know, performance riding and getting super accurate feedback from the chassis, maybe you can change out the foot pegs for something a bit more comfortable. Upside down forks, 130mm travel at the front, KYB shock at the back. Let's have a look, see if we can see a preload adjuster. Surely, oh, I can't see much. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I think we got a preload collar in there, I suspect. I see numbers. Yeah, I think we can do a preload adjustment there, at least on the shot. So they've picked their battles, I think, when it comes to you know, the budget on this bike and what to spend their money on. Looks good, well equipped electronically, but suspension maybe down to a budget a little bit. Huge number plate hanger on the back. But the rear light and indicators are all integrated, at least the rear light is. I've got to get back to Frasers. It's only a little short getting to know you ride. See how much fun I would have in a short period of time, and so far I'm having plenty of fun. The engine's a winner, I think. But yeah, let's get back on the bike. Last little bit of fun on the bike. You know, at road legal speeds, it does the job perfectly well. With enough power to have some real fun. Seems pretty composed. It's a bit, feels a bit bumpy at the back. Now I am, by the way, 5'7", 170 centimeters. I have a 32-inch inside leg. I weigh about 78 kilos in gear, probably 80 kilos in gear. I'm a Sagittarius. I like motorbikes. Anyway, moving on. And perhaps, I don't know about the shock. Just feels a little bit thumpy. Not as compliant as I would perhaps like over bumpy roads. But the preload's adjustable, so might be something that can be sorted. I'm having a lot of fun on this bike. It's got a lot of go, overtakes it easy, and if you're overtaking a line of traffic, you're not going to run out of poke or not going to run out of power, I don't think. It's a quick bike. Okay, this is a bit of a test for the bike. I will tell you the suspension is making a bit of a meal of it. And again, I feel like it's the back end that's giving me more trouble than the front, and I should slow down. Road has moved out a bit now. Still small and kind of nadgery, but not as bouncy. The bike's doing great. And in fourth gear on the back roads, that's a very good gear to be in. And we have a quick shifter up and down as well. I mean, you can't ask for much more. Well, looks like I'm going to be forced to accelerate. hang tight. As the revs rise, there's no kind of top end kick to potentially unnerve you. It feels pretty linear right up to the top, really. If you're a fairly new rider, I think that's a good thing. What can I tell you about the wind blast? Well, there's a fair bit of it, but it's a naked bike. But it's just strong and constant at these speeds. Basically nothing to write home about. It's just wind blast. And if you don't like wind blast, get a bike with a fairing. Okay, so while we're riding through this rather picturesque little village, I'll sum up what I think about the bike. What can I say? I think I could say it's a good fun, solid, Suzuki built, reliable, middleweight road bike for the real world. All that. When I put that as my video title, I think I might run out of characters if I did that. The one thing I was talking about, you know, great bike for the modern world. I do believe it's lacking in smartphone connectivity. You know, there's no app to connect to your phone for managing phone calls or music, which, you know, I'm sure young people want in a motorbike. Not everybody does, but some people do. Some manufacturers provide that in their mid-range motorbikes. I don't think it's here with the Suzuki. And again, as I said right at the beginning, at Frasers, yeah, low seat height, feet flat on the floor, knees bent with my 32-inch inside leg. Even 28s might be okay on tippy toes. Easy to find neutral as well, by the way. That's handy. Alright, bike, calm down. I'll put it in A mode. I've been mostly riding in a B mode for the throttle map SDMS this afternoon. Wow. A does make a difference on the initial throttle application. Mostly in a good way. Okay, so we're heading home, and I'm not sure if the camera's quite pointing at me. I think it's close. When I say home, back to Frasers Motorcycles of Gloucester, who were kind enough to let me out on this motorbike. It's a demo bike. It's available to you to ride. Just get in touch with the team. James and the guys will be more than happy to accommodate you. But I think what you'll find is it's a good performing bike, and I'm not saying that, I'm not damning with faint praise. I'm really enjoying the engine and enjoying the riding experience. Just gets a little bit undone on bumpy lanes at speed, but potentially preload might help me take care of that and help you. But I think it's yeah, brilliant middleweight machine. Really happy to see it out here in the market. Bit of a disruptor, Suzuki might say, really. You know, try to tackle the established machines, even its own SV650, which I'm sure sales will now be cannibalized somewhat as this one hits the market. And I can't blame it. I've ridden the SV650 and I enjoy it a lot. I think out of the two, I'd prefer this one. I know it costs you more money, but then again, I think it's more bike. I'm nearly back at the shop now, so I shall take my leave. See you folks down there in the comments. Take care of yourselves. Ta-da!